Mech pilots, online. BattleTech manuals, online. Long-term memory, offline. All systems bungled. Initiating BungleTech podcast.
In our 36th episode of BungleTech, my spheroid co-host Midnight Michael and I take it easy as we have a PPC blast of a time answering submitted listener questions. It's a casual episode, folks, so sit back, relax, cuddle up with your loyal Kodama, and join us at the ceremonial Clan Kodama table of super honourable clan grade level earnestness. Could be a decent time.
Bonus objective. Extraordinary proclamation. Initiating.
Clan Kodama, another day comes, and with it, further glory. Today, we are honored to be joined by Bondsperson Stefan Gordon. True, they may not have willingly joined our clan, but now that they are with us, they are bonded by blood. As a matter of fact, the Kodama transfusion has already been completed. As soon as the twitching stops, I anticipate that Stefan will be a welcome addition to our furry family. Clan Kodama Brothers, swarm!
This is Nathaniel Smithson reporting from the front. The mech hangars are alive with movement, MechWarriors suiting up, technicians scrambling, and the scent of freshly welded armor thick in the air. All forces are deploying to HeyZeus December 4th through 7th in Burnsville, Minnesota. Tournaments, campaigns, painting, and more. It is indeed a sight. Civilians and veterans alike are rolling out. This is a full spectrum engagement. Badges are now active with the full mission schedule being broadcast openly. You'll find Professor Michael and myself on the front lines of this valiant war effort, organized by WolfNet Radio and MN BattleTech. HeyZeus is looking to be the biggest conflict I have ever had the honor to report on. We'll see you on the battlefield. This has been Nathaniel Smithson, Iron and Boots on the ground, always first on the scene.
The conflict on Galatea continues to escalate as gang violence has intensified and skirmishes have broken out between mercenary units in the city and surrounding areas. Even in these violent times, however, there are tales of grit and heroism. Prominent gangs Claw and Order, along with the Swordbreakers, suffered a series of embarrassing defeats as reports of low-altitude drops from well-backed mercenary companies took advantage of ongoing battles in an apparent attempt to undermine both of the prominent gangs. The men of La Mancha were spotted skirmishing with gang forces on the edges of Galaport City, with mechs being dropped into the site of a brutal battle before retreating through the streets under fire from both forces. While the Swordbreaker units were completely destroyed, the mercenary unit reportedly left behind no casualties. Some analysts suggest that the lightning strikes were not intended to cause damage or disarray, but were instead a form of aggressive reconnaissance, after units traced to the Boom Boom Brigade, Explosive Enterprises, and the Cracked Canopies were reported to have performed similar hot drops and rapid retreats from the conflict zones without ever firing their weapons. And finally, some faces behind the mechs. Today's photographs come to us from the 108th Legion of Razgriz, showing their newest MechWarrior, Spectre, celebrating with the company after some clever piloting under fire and a knack for sensor systems. The photos are signed, not bad for a stowaway. That's all for now, and these are Tales of Heroism in the Sphere.
Primary objective, podcast topic segment, initiating.
Venerable listeners, welcome to episode 36 of BungleTech, a BattleTech podcast. Today is another glorious day, for I am joined by my dream co-host, the sensual Midnight Michael. Hello, Michael.
I thought you were supposed to be coming up with new words. I'm sensual again?
I said Midnight Michael. I said midnight.
That's not even an adjective.
I'm not good at this.
Oh my gosh. Nathan's phoning it in. Venerable listeners, I'm very sorry that Nathan's phoning it in like this.
And that may be the theme of today's episode, everybody. Phoning it in. So today we're taking it a little bit easy, and we're going to spend some time answering some questions from venerable listeners that you submitted. Pretty excited for them. We're doing it a little bit weird and wacky because, that's how we roll at BungleTech. We've assigned the questions randomly to Michael and I, and we don't even know what they are. We're just going to spontaneously ask each other, alternating back and forth. So you're going to hear the wisdom of Michael, then the wisdom of Nathan, the wisdom of Michael, then the wisdom of Nathan, the wisdom of Michael. Then you're going to realize Nathan has no wisdom, and then you're going to stop listening to me and just skip everything I say, because that is the smart thing to do, listener. Okay, but before we get into the questions, guys, we've been busy. We're heading to KSEG 6 in 2 weeks. Oh boy, that's coming up soon. We're excited to be there, really excited to learn a lot more about Alpha Strike, because Michael and I are complete Alpha Strike newbies. And as well, we're running some stuff. We're running a global campaign, introduction, 3 missions straight in a row in a single day. And then we're also running attack ops based game mode, where the whole concept is come in and experience with advanced rules. We're introducing people to select list of advanced rules. We've created a little readout where they can go and select, and you're rewarded for trying new things. New things are so great, aren't they, Michael?
Yeah, new things. You will note that this is a slightly curated list of rules, in that it's designed to actually kind of be a functioning game. Nathan only subjects his friends to the unbound nightmare that is no holds barred every tech ops rule at the same time.
Yes, this is the first step into the madness. But once you get a taste, oh, it's so sweet. You will see.
Actually, I think we said it was a second step, right? Because the first step is playing the global campaign initiative, which includes even selector sets of advanced rules in each mission. So you can just play with those little teeny pieces and, just taste a little bit on the side to see what you have an appetite for.
You know what? I have a mission in life, Michael. And my mission in life is to make BattleTech as complicated and convoluted as possible. And anyone who tries to simplify it or make it easier and more accessible to players, I'm sorry. We need more rules. I want to feel like I'm drowning when I play BattleTech. That is the BattleTech experience I love. Drowning.
Yeah. You need to actually have your masters in BattleTeching in order to pilot a battle mech.
So, Michael, KSEG 6, what you thinking? Excited, interested? What are your thoughts?
I immediately tried to come up with another thing, but you already listed the two appropriate things to say. I am excited and I am interested. I guess I'm also, let's say, hungry to meet new people. I'm scintillated by the idea of learning how to play Alpha Strike. And I think we're actually joining after we learn how to play Alpha Strike, you and I are learning together, and then we're joining the doubles tournament.
Yes.
Is that?
We're going to just get completely destroyed. It's going to be great.
No. Why are you so negative all the time, Nathan? Come on, we're going to rocket to the top.
Hey, man.
We're going to show up there as a bunch of crunchy, we're going to be the lowest of the classic BattleTech players who barely know the rules and make mistakes all the time. And we're going to show up and prove that classic BattleTech is better than Alpha Strike, as we just mop the floor with all these people who've been playing the game for years. But our superior classic BattleTech brains are going to lead us to victory.
If that comes out true, Michael, people are going to think that is in a sarcastic statement. So we better hope that we get abolished like we actually anticipate. Yeah, I know it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Some of our patrons are going to be there. It's going to be fun to visit the States and just, hang out with fellow BattleTech connoisseurs. Well, we're flying over other states. We get a look from above. We're like, oh, there's another state, I think. And we get to see the big, red boundary lines, that they draw on the maps. We get to see those because those are painted on the ground. Yeah. I'm excited to see those. I'll be really disappointed if they don't exist. Like deathly disappointed.
Nathan's never been on a plane before. This is his first time.
Wait.
Going anywhere.
A plane? Oh, God, hold me, Michael.
We're taking our canoe.
That is discriminatory against Canadians, Michael. But I approve. Before we get into the questions, Michael, did you have a weird BattleTech dream recently that we wanted to discuss before that we should share with the listeners?
I thought I told you that I told you this in confidence. You said you wouldn't bring it up on air.
Remember, it's just you and me having a conversation. As for last episode, we're just having a conversation. This isn't aired.
Pay no attention to the blinking red light. Yeah, no, I'm adapting to some medication, and one of the side effects is extremely vivid dreams. There's some nights when I wake up and I feel like I've done like a whole week of work and like gone through everything, but actually I just went to bed one night. And so I wake up, I'm like, oh man, great, I got to get up and go to work again. But yeah, I was telling Nathan that the other night I had this dream that we were getting interviewed. We were somewhere, we were getting interviewed, except actually it wasn't us being interviewed. It was Nathan and the interviewer ambushing me to ask me about why I'm not playing the BattleTech trading card game that Nathan loves so much. And they kept asking me these like questions about like the game and how do I think it flows. And like, I'm just doing my best to like do a podcast on something that I played like 3 games of ever. And it ended up with them both strong arming me into playing a doubles tournament with him. So yeah, I don't know. I've already recorded a whole BungleTech episode this week, but it's been lost to the depths of my subconscious.
I've yet to have a dream about recording BungleTech. So I feel like I need some of that medication you're on because I feel like that I could really use my time productively planning because there's too much to plan. I need to plan during my sleep as well, man. Anyhow.
Well, let me tell you, it's not I wouldn't exactly call it like excellent preparation. And I think that after having that dream and having had to like explain my half remembered BattleTech trading card game rules in a dream, I literally know nothing about the trading card anymore. It's the whole BTTCG is completely wiped from my memory.
I see. Well, I guess I got to bring it with us to HeyZeus so we can play it there.
Yeah, it gives us something to do on the plane.
And after we get just
on those tiny little shelves.
Yeah.
The tiny little tray tables.
That won't work. Never mind. Okay. Well, on to the plan of action. So to all our listeners that submitted questions, thank you very much. We filtered them. We aggregated some of them. Some of them had similar themes. So obviously we didn't want to answer the same question twice. But we're going to now jump through those questions. So once again, thank you for submitting them. There's some really fun ones. And guess who is answering the first question? It is Michael. Michael, I have a question for you.
I may have an answer.
Imagine you're in a shrapnel story. So you, Michael, I almost said your last name. Shouldn't say that online, I guess. Michael. That's Midnight Michael.
BungleTech Michael.
Midnight Michael is in a shrapnel story. The real life you and your home planet gets invaded. You find Uncle Jeff's. Do you have an uncle named Jeff? Because that would be a funny coincidence.
No, but my father is named Jeff.
Okay. Father Jeff. You find Father Jeff's old griffin in the barn. What do you do?
How old are we talking? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how old, right? Like that thing's worth a fortune either way. Probably enough for me to by transit off world.
Oh, I see. And I did not expect that response.
I don't even know how a neural link works. I don't know how the friggin' computer interfaces. I haven't trained for all my life. I'm not a shonen protagonist. I can't pilot this thing.
Well said, Michael. Not a shonen protagonist.
Listen, I'm just being realistic here.
Especially with that attitude, Michael. Especially with that attitude. Man. Okay, so you sell it and you fly out planet. That's cool.
Yeah, I just get the heck out of there. I mean, what am I going to do? Even if I could pilot it, even if I was friggin', the second coming of the Black Marauder and the Black Griffin, what am I going to do against a planetary invasion?
Of all the choices, you chose the only thing that could actually do anything. If you were the embodiment of the Black Marauder, you would make them suffer. Anything else you say, except Natasha Kerensky, probably, or Jane Wolfe, there may be 3 options of people that could actually make a difference. And you named one of them, Michael.
Do you really think I could do it, Nathan? I just don't know. I don't think I have it in me.
Michael, you have to look deep within. Put your whole heart into it. And you can achieve anything. Ugh. I died. Now your shonen arc begins.
Yeah, you know what? I hop right into that. If something that portentous happens, then yeah, obviously I am a protagonist, and heck it, I'm hopping into that griffin.
Okay, cool. I like it.
All right. Up next is one that maybe a bit too close to home for Mr. Nathan. Global Campaign Initiative Season 2 ?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, that's a big question. Oh.
You picked the wrong time to ask this,
yes.
listener. We're at like peak stress of like wrapping up the GCI, and by we, I mean Nathan. Because everything revolves around Nathan, and Nathan is the nucleus holding this all together. So Nathan, I would recommend asking again in January.
When it's done, yeah. So here's what I'll say. My answer is, it has been way more effort than I anticipated. Michael warned me. It has been way more effort than I anticipated. And we haven't, so the people that are playing it love it for sure. But we haven't gotten at the beginning, we had so many people interested, and you can see how it's consistently fallen off. And I think this is the nature of organizing game groups, right? When I talk to people about this, why it's fallen off, it's always oh, we can't get our schedule aligned, right? That's the most common one. And that's going to happen. But when you look at the end and you see how many players are going to go through the entire arc on schedule as planned, it is something probably 20% of what originally signed up. And that is so much, we've put in so much effort for that 20%. But here's the thing that I'm open to. I am open because we're keeping the global campaign, the after action report forms, available for longer. So if we see people continue to, finalize the campaign, and people then find this later and say, okay, I'm going to run this because the 10 missions are going to be available. They can just take it and put it on their table. If we see that demand ramp up over time, then I think it justifies the effort. But the amount of effort that we've had to put in the global campaign has, in my opinion, impacted the quality of this podcast. And the global campaign is a huge, really cool project, but I feel like I want to release a quality product. I would rather do less and have high quality than do more at less quality. And so because of that, it is a conflict that burns my very soul. And
Nathan's soul burns for many reasons.
And I think that the reality is we have some really good collaborators on this. Let's talk about who has contributed. So we have Steve from the Mech Bay podcast. We have Seth from the Mercenary Star podcast. We have Dante from the Depths of Somewhere. We have Michael, and we have myself. And I don't think I'm free. Oh, and we have Denim Hardman also from the Mech Bay podcast. So all these people have done contributions. All these people are very busy, and this could not have happened in this way without these people. In particular, Dante has done so much work narratively, and it was a huge volunteer commitment for him. And so it's all about the outcome we get, right? Like, I'm super happy that people that have continued on, man, they're enjoying it. We get hugely positive feedback. But if we're putting this amount of effort in and it turns out just to be for 10 tables across the world, that they're the ones that go through the entire process, you know, we have to really ask if that is really giving to the community like we want it to, when instead we can just focus on quality BungleTech episodes that are impacting the community in a completely positive way, in a much more significant way, you know? Yeah. Anyhow, that's my thoughts.
I feel like it was a great experiment. It was, it was something that we knew was a bit different going into it, and I think everyone had reservations. Even you, Nathan, you had some amount of anxiety. Not that you ever let it on, but we'll probably do a whole retrospective episode at some point, right? So consider this a preview, listeners.
And that's for that episode, which I think we're going to do in February. We'll have everyone from my objective is to have everyone that was involved in that episode. And that's going to be when you really see the behind the scenes and like the challenges and the things that were frustrating and the things that were cool and the complications. And I think that to me, I'm really excited for that episode because, yeah, then you're really going to understand the scope and effort of the whole campaign. And yeah.
Behold our mighty works. Look at how it all lays in ruins.
All right, next question. Too much. I've talked too much already. All right. If you suddenly became First Lord of the Star League, a future Star League, what would be your first decree?
Can I decree myself not to be the First Lord of the Star League?
Oh, man.
I've seen how this ends. Like, universally. No Star League has survived.
Well, I feel like you and Big Red have the same vibes from when we were interviewing him, like the questions, like, what would you do in this? I'd run. I don't want to be there. I'm going to get killed.
I can't decree myself to not be the First Lord.
Okay.
Because you can't wish yourself more wishes. You can't decree yourself less decrees or something.
That's a rule. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that, yeah. Okay, let me see. So I don't know why I'm getting all the lore questions on account of me being the least aware of the lore. But I feel like, man, there's really no good answers, is there? I don't know. I feel like you gotta make an effort to like try and bring in the outer sphere a bit, try to improve things out there, bring them into sphere affairs a bit more, because a lot of those like really, the 5 houses dominate in the core, and you need to bring in, there's a whole diaspora around the outside that are frequently suffer under terrible hardship. So I think you got to do your best to like bring them in, make them a part of the Star League, get them, or maybe not part of the Star League, we're not talking like domination here, but, try to, help bring them up, build them up to be peers in the galactic stage. And then I'd get assassinated by one or all of the 5 houses. Just assassins from all the houses show up simultaneously and shoot me in the back at the same time.
You know what you gotta do? When they show up, you just gotta, like, they surround you, right? And you just time a duck. Boom, they shoot each other. Pow. And then you're good. Anyhow, that's advice. That's pretty good. I'm a martial artist, so I see opportunities like this that most normal people don't see. So
yeah, I think I saw someone on TikTok doing that move.
Very cool. I like it.
Up next, Nathan, do you think people in the BattleTech universe also play tabletop BattleTech?
Actually, canonically, I think they do. Because there is, like, on the Solaris worlds, there are those virtual tables. I actually think that they literally, canonically do this. in some form. Like maybe it's not the exact same rule books. Maybe, they're still on the original 2nd edition BattleTech, but there definitely is that digital tabletop form where they do play. And so I'd imagine if there's a digital tabletop form, someone would also have a paper form. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, they do. They do play BattleTech. And you know what? I'm pretty sure they play classic BattleTech. I think classic BattleTech is canonized. I don't think Alpha Strike is canonized, but who knows? Who knows?
I feel like there's probably like way more tabletop BattleTech in the BattleTech universe, right? Like think about how many like war games exist in our world. There's going to be a whole gamut, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Or do you think there is just literally only classic BattleTech? That's the only time someone tried to make simulated mech combat on a tabletop.
I mean, from a canon perspective, I think that is the only one I've heard of. But
all right.
Yeah.
And if they didn't mention it in canon, it doesn't exist yet.
And you've been going beyond the scope of the question, Michael. Jeez. That's just all speculation. I don't speculate, Michael.
Speculation on my BungleTech podcast. Well, I never.
All right. Next one for you, buddy boy. Ooh. Were you born with such a sensual voice, or was it acquired through great tribulation?
Did you rig this question, random assortment?
You know how I love randomization. I love the chaos.
Nathan would never cheat. I genuinely believe that. I truly believe Nathan wouldn't cheat at this. It's just serendipitous. Well, yeah, I think I guess I was just born with this voice. I've never made any particular effort to do anything with it. And I'm like, I only hear my voice from inside my head. So it sounds totally different. I do think I'm sounding a little bit extra sensual today though, because I'm a little bit gravelly. So I think it's given me a bit deeper of a tone.
Oh,
a little bit more, what do you call that? Warmth.
Yeah. Almost like you stayed up past midnight on the radio. Hence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Welcome to Jazz 91.9.
I literally never considered my voice sensual until Nathan said so. And so 100% of people who have told me I have a sensual voice have said so because Nathan said so. This is all his fault. In many ways, my voice is not sensual until Nathan said it was. Nathan actualized this into reality.
Yeah, man, that's in general. I'm sort of like Aphrodite. I just project beauty on others. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. This next one better be a good one, Nathan. You're going to suffer. With our clan's totem mech being the bunker, are there any more totem mechs in the pipeline? Also, what is the most superior medium mech in the Ill Clan timeline? So we'll start with the first half. So we've got the bunker as our totem mech. Do we have any more totem mechs coming?
No. No. That was an absurd. It's oh my god. Yeah, this is the process because we made STL. We're printing them. There's so much happening with that. It took a lot of work.
And now they want another. They want the bunker too. The people yearn for the clan bunker, and you're refusing to give it to them.
I wouldn't mind building a super heavy. We could do a super heavy. There's not enough super heavies. Let's do a super heavy or a proto mech.
Actually. And then we don't even need to make it bad. It's kind of just already bad.
Inherently, yeah. Yeah, I think that is an option. That is an option. But no, that is definitely on the back burner. I think they're once again, I don't know if you know this, but the global campaign was an absurd amount of effort. I can't take on any other projects. Oh my
Nathan,
God.
the people yearn for more giant projects. We need the Global Campaign Initiative 2 and we need the Bunker 2 at the same time. A coherent release between the two of them. Mission 7 of the GCI 2 will be centered around stealing the blueprints for the Bunker 2. It's genius. And also, there's a giant 100-question quiz attached to episode 8 of the GCI 2.
We do got to do another quiz. We do got to put that. That was fun.
We do, yeah. That was pretty great. It was also an enormous amount of work, though.
Yes, we don't. Let's not look back.
We make bad decisions.
Look forward. Who is the best mech? I'm gonna cop out on this.
What? No. What is the most superior medium mech in the Ill Clan timeline?
Oh, it's the bunker. That's my cop out. It's the bunker. It is our clan totem mech. There you go. Take it. Take it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
That's what you get for your
Take
question
it and
answer.
leave it. Yeah. Next question. Oh, goodness me. The unthinkable has happened, and you've been editorially mandated to add an alien faction into the BattleTech universe. Michael, describe your faction and how it interacts with the rest of the universe.
Oh, goodness me.
The big one.
Why?
You get the big questions.
Geez.
Oh, geez. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, geez.
Well, I mean, whatever I say, whatever I answer, I get assassinated, but this time by fans who insist that aliens don't belong in BattleTech. So I don't know why I'm getting all the questions that result in terrible, grisly death for myself. Alien factions. Let me reach back through my memory. So okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm just spitting straight from the top of the dome. I've given this no thought whatsoever. But BattleTech is basically like space feudalism. It's all this like infighting between different tribes, and so what actually produced some dynamic. Well, now I'm saying this, I'm realizing I might get canceled. But anyway, so like one of the big things is having like an outside enemy. Like that's one of the things that historically had like huge, like sweeping effects on feudal factions. But the clans already did this. I don't know. I don't know. Let's say let's make it space colonialism. That's also a bad answer. So like some human explorers go out into space. They find a bunch of alien species similar to our own, maybe evolved from the same origin as us, but they're out there, and we can mop the floor with them using our battle mechs. So the BattleTech universe stops doing all their infighting to go and do outfighting, waging war in colonial other galactic areas. And so then there's all these poor aliens just getting stomped on all over the place. But, occasionally like allying with and forming allegiances, between each other, between different human factions. And so you can do a whole space colonialism. That's cool, right? Like everyone has fun in space colonialism. It's just a good time for everyone.
Interesting. Okay, cool choice.
Aliens as allegories for Native Americans. Fantastic. Great. Don't do that. This is a terrible idea. Absolutely do not under any condition do this. This is not the right way to do it.
It's too late. It's out there. Now it's going to die. It's probably already been
Make the aliens giant bugs or something. Don't colonialize the giant bugs. Don't do that. This is a fraught thing. Like using aliens as a metaphor for humanity is always going to be a bad idea. So I don't know.
Well,
it's a lose-lose situation.
You sort of circled your way around that one. I like it.
Me dodging assassins from all sides. All right, Nathan, for a obviously much less. Why do you get all the easy questions? This is rigged. Nathan, you rigged this. You cheating son of a gun.
I know that one of the questions, you get one of the most complicated questions, but when it's a Professor Michael oriented question. I'm like, anyone can answer this as Professor Michael, so.
Okay, Nathan, how much time do y'all spend recording your episodes?
Oh, a lot. Okay, so let's say, recording the episode is the time that it takes to record. So let's say we have a 90-minute episode, we'd probably spend, I don't know, under 2 hours recording it, just chatting, all that stuff.
No, absolutely not. This is an easy layup question. You're still getting it wrong. At least double. We spend at least double what our episode is in recording time.
No, we don't.
Yes,
crazy.
we do.
Like, no, because we talk, we like, but when we hit the record button and we're on mic, the max we cut out is like 15% per episode.
I'm rolling my eyes right now.
But here's what I will say.
What time? How many hours of recording have we done today? And how many hours ago did we start recording? Did we meet to record?
Okay, if we're talking meet to record, well, we just have so much fun, Michael. You can't like
we gotta talk
fun.
about what we're doing. We gotta plan the episode.
Well, okay, so
you gotta tell me to log into OneNote.
Okay. So let's say logistics, like not just the physical recording, like actually producing an episode, right? If we go to the producing an episode, it's a pretty big number. So let's say we're producing an hour and a half episode, and let's say it is a full BungleTech episode where it has all segments, all produced, like is our vision. So we have stories in the inner sphere, we have, either rule mistake or we have battlefield highlight, and then we have the main segment and all that fun stuff. I'd say to planning, recording, editing, producing, bouncing, publishing, easily 20 hours. And that has been reduced dramatically by me utilizing a tool. I use an editing tool, an AI-based editing tool for my first pass. So all it does is it looks through the audio and it automatically removes dead spaces, some mouth noises, some very basic stuff. And then I take that single pass cleanup, put it in my Pro Tools tool, which, oh my God, don't even get me started. And then I edit, process, tune, add different plugins and stuff like that. Michael's voice, because it's so damn sensual, I have to like tone it down so much. I need like 20 plugins just to make it, like your clothes will be off. You listen to his fully formed voice. And so we have different plugin channels, and if we have a guest, it adds a different layer of complication, and then I go through and edit. But let's say I have like an hour chunk that we've recorded, and that is like probably would be edited down to like 55 minutes or something like that when I take out dead air and some like repetition words and stuff like that. It easily takes you it's going to take you at least 4 hours to edit an hour chunk, because as you're listening through, you got to stop, and the things can be frequent, and it depends with the quality standards you set for yourself. And maybe not at least four, probably 3. You could do it quickly in 3, at least with my skill level and all that stuff and the quality I'm looking for. But overall, yeah, it's like, I'd say it's safe to say it's 20 hours would be a fair thing to consider per month. And then if you add the global campaign on top of that, I don't know if I mentioned that. Oh, well, don't even get me started. So yeah, it is a significant amount of time. But we love it, right?
Yay!
Yay!
I'm only involved for like 4 hours every month. So.
Oh, guess what? It's a complicated question I was talking about for you. Here we go.
Yeah, I was looking at it's 4 lines long.
Michael, how do you think all of the Terra-adjacent flora and fauna ended up on all these hospitable planets? Was the age of war and pre-hegemony terraforming just that good? Or are there a lot more breathable atmosphere planets in the inner sphere than there probably should be using the exoplanetary science we know now? See, that's Professor Michael. That's a Professor Michael question. But you don't get to do any research for it.
Yeah, so so you're right. I'm not doing any research here. So this is one of those really interesting questions where you can answer it on like multiple different levels, where really the true deep answer at the heart of it is it's a sci-fi story from the 80s, and it made a good sci-fi story from the 80s. It's very reminiscent of like Traveler to me, in that you've got all these worlds that have been colonized, and we had these dreams of expansion and what space expansion would look like, and what society would look like in space and after the fall, and all those things. So That's sort of the like original answer. But then, as time passes, we understand things better. The people who are looking at the lore become more sophisticated. You get this like need for writers to like explain things, and you have to explain like why these things that make no sense happen. One of my favorites is always in Star Wars, where like technically paper doesn't exist in Star Wars, or at least in the old expanded universe. Paper just didn't get invented. No one invented paper. And like that has like insane repercussions that have to like try and like absolutely like wrap your head, like tie yourself into knots explaining like how that worked. But so I don't know the answer in BattleTech. I'm sure Sarna has some answers for you if you look deep enough, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe no one ever bothered to fill in this one gap. I'm going to guess that yes, in the BattleTech universe, there's just like a more breathable atmospheres than you expect. But, the vast majority of star systems are not colonized. The vast majority of star systems you don't even go to, you don't even look at, because the density of stars in the inner sphere those are only the stars that you see that have actual, worthwhile rocks to talk about. But you're probably right. It's still a little bit too high. And then I'm going to guess that they have like a panspermia type theory that like, all of these worlds were seeded from the same, cosmic dust containing traces of DNA or RNA. And so consequently, all life in the sphere has ended up looking pretty similar, like on a genetic level, just because they all came from some hitherto unknown source that was then scattered into the cosmos. And so every world, including Earth, sort of grew from the same seeds. That's my bet.
Wow. Nice. I like how you did that from like an out-of-universe perspective and an in-universe perspective. Two options.
It's a good question. I take it all back, Nathan. This is a great question to rig for me to answer.
Oh boy. Well, a great answer.
You're up next, Nathan.
Bring it to me.
So everyone has had a memorable BattleTech moment. TM. Maybe a headshot or an ammo explosion that changed the game. What's yours? And you can only pick one.
Oh, dude, that's hard. So all my moments are not about like associated with like a crazy thing I did. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did it. It's all associated with like weird things that happen. And I mean, that probably makes sense to you because that is why we do BungleTech. It's like the weird things. Two things come to mind that I can't choose between. I don't know if I did Battlefield outcome reports regarding them. Well, I gotta choose.
The archives.
I know I did one of them. Okay, I will. Okay. I went to a competitive game and I brought, you had to build your own mech, which I really don't like building my own mechs. I really don't like building lists and stuff like that because I find that I just want to play the mechs that are on the table. Like I just like random stuff. I like to experience different things and I just find that, that to me takes away from the fun for the game for me personally. But anyhow, I want to build something weird. So within the limitations I brought an Ares to the table that I then customized. So that's a super heavy mech. I think it's like 150 tons, maybe it's 130, I forget. But anyhow, and what was fun about this was no one had ever seen a super heavy mech on the table, and I made it useless. I put like chaff in my legs. Oh, I think we did talk about this, so I could like blow it up, and like I made like world like WWE themed. So he'd have like smoke because the smoke doesn't do anything because it doesn't even cover him. But it's like boom and cool. And then I had like liquid guns, so I'd slow you down and like things where I was just like, I'm gonna get you and slam you. That was sort of my theme. But you move like 2-3, so you can't go anywhere. And so it started out and everyone's so intimidated of this thing. They're like, oh my God, this thing's huge. It's gonna kill me. People start coming, taking like little bites, you know what I mean? Like random bites. And then collectively, the entire table just realizes I am useless. Like this mech I design is just the biggest piece of junk. And that's all like flourish, and me going like, oh yeah, at the beginning of every round isn't helping. And so then I get swarmed, and in one round, because you have 3 pilots. And so when you take a pilot hit, you have to do a PSR for each of them. And in one round, I think I took something like 3 or 4 pilot hits. So that means I had to roll either 9 or 12 consciousness checks in one round. And some people made it through. Some of the pilots made it through, but like the actual pilot fell unconscious, and the only person who was awake at one moment was the tech that couldn't do anything. So he used to like move seats, and it's just like it was just fun imagining all these guys inside like, oh, I'm gonna fall unconscious. So that memory sticks to me. I'm like, oh, another consciousness check. That's fun. Another one. Oh my god! And to make it, and yeah, that to me is like a fun memory. So that's the weird thing that gets me going.
That is a very Nathan thing to remember so clearly.
Oh man, I'm glad you got the next question. Yes, it's a simple one, but it's also hard. Michael, what surprising talents do the BungleTech team have?
I will say our ability to deliver a podcast on a monthly basis. I'm quite surprised that we've been at this for 36 episodes now. That's surprising. we're kind of dysfunctional, but we still deliver on almost everything. What other surprising talents do we have? I don't know. Like I feel like is the talents of the team things that like we together do exceptionally, or is it the talents of each of us individually? Because that really feels like it. Is we have like, Nathan's tenacity to work on things, whether they're good ideas or not, just to get them done and get them out there in the world. And there's my ability to be snarky and laugh at all the things that we try to do, thus producing content for the podcast. And by our powers together, we are entertaining.
I like the question mark. Entertaining?
I mean, it is kind of surprising. Like I before we started this, and in fact, when you asked me to do this, I was like so blown away of like, why would we do that? What, like, you're a voice actor, but what do I bring to the table? How do we together become a podcast? But we did become a podcast by our powers combined. We super fusioned into a podcast.
We even did the dance. Fusion. Ha!
Yeah. Now it does make it very challenging to record because we are sort of fused and we have 2 heads emerging from a single torso. So the system to like put the sound isolation between our 2 heads is actually quite challenging, and it was very expensive for the custom build. But we made it happen.
Made it happen. The philosophy of the BungleTech. Just make it happen and see what happens.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Nathan, is there any more Clan Kodama lore?
No. But
but also yes.
But there are 2 things that I think would be really cool. Okay, so one, I want to have a game mode where we have something called the Kodama cannon. I want to invent this custom weapon called the Kodama cannon. I think that would be super fun. Someone suggested it, and like just shoots out Kodamas, but at any moment it can like backfire on you, get swarmed. I don't know. I think the idea is super fun. So we got to have the Kodama cannon. Also, right now our patrons have been super patient because, like, as part of our monthly draws, one of the prizes that we design now is the STL of the bunker, and we're getting it painted, in Clan Kodama colors that I believe were largely inspired by some work that I believe technician Klint did, showcasing some like like a Gen 2C, which, I mean, if you put anything in Gen 2C, I'm gonna love it, but with the traditional Kodama colors. So we're embracing like the pattern of the Kodama. And one thing I'm thinking is like, okay, well, what changes can we make that make like how we label and design these mechs more Kodama themed? So my idea that the artists are working on right now is what happens if rather than numbering conventions for mechs, they use the style is all Roman numerals, but Roman numerals with like claw marks instead. So like if you're number 1 in the unit, it's like a claw of 1, or 2's 2 scratches, 3 scratches. So it's like, you know what I mean? I think that'll look cool, like the scratches. And so like really incorporating that more in. But that's really as far as we've gone so far. I think there is a disconnect in my mind between the bunker and Clan Kodama. It is our mech, but the lore doesn't really make that much sense. Somehow we acquired it. So maybe we can build that bridge. That could be a future sort of connection, but I don't think anyone's thinking about it as much as probably Michael and I are just randomly. So yeah, that's my answer.
I will say, though, that there will be more lore as soon as we think of it, and it's funny.
Yeah. And like, remember, like Clan Kodama, this came out of like a random Professor Michael segment. And then I'm like, oh man, the Kodama is so cool. And just like this random, like this is the weird sort of, like it's so weird and niche, just like Hack Ops rules are so weird and niche. I'm like, this is the perfect fit for us to have this clan. And like, I don't know, it's just like, that's like serendipitous stuff, like the stuff that isn't planned that I'm always, as a side, one of the things Michael brings this podcast consistently is he just digs into stuff and he just finds interesting stuff that I find so inspiring and that just like organically changes the direction of the podcast. And like, I think truly to me, the brand of BungleTech has actually been more influenced by Michael's decisions, not like conscious decisions, but his findings or discoveries than it has actually been by like my conscious decisions. So anyhow, but let's not get into that.
We're a powerful team.
Next question. This is a good one. Michael, if you could change one thing about the game, lore, gameplay, vibe, etc., what would it be and why?
Once again, I am put on the firing line to discuss things that have been argued about endlessly for decades. So I'm torn between a couple answers. I guess the superficial answer would be I wish autocannons were better. Like, you know, I'd like the game balance to be a little bit better. But I don't know, it's not like, it's fine. I like using my autocannons despite them being not so great. It's fine. I whatever. So I'm actually going to say something lore based, which, you know, feel free to hang me out to dry here because I haven't read enough lore to really have an opinion. But I think BattleTech lore centers around heroes a bit too much. I know that's sort of because like it's you know, space feudalism, and you know, these people are knights, and the famous knights are famous because they are peerless on the battlefield. But that has always sort of like, I find that hard to get immersed in because, you know, the real face of the battlefield is a lot more like muddy and gritty and involves, you know, hundreds of faces, not, you know, no singular person could win a war for the defense of a planet piloting their father's old griffin. That's just it doesn't work that way. It takes me out every time a story goes that way. These are, you know, people piloting machines of war. They're not Jedi. They're not space wizards. So I would like the story to be a little bit like broader, and not to say that it never is, but like whenever one of these like heroes comes out and, you know, people talk about the legendary so and so, it just takes me out a little bit. I like my gritty stories. I like being, you know, part of the chaff and the cannon fodder, and so, you know, I prefer stories a bit more like that than a few movers and shakers in the galaxy doing everything.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I think that's a good answer. I think that's a really good and a very good observation. It's like almost Star Wars syndrome, right? It's just like the human. I think this is about the human condition as much as it is about the nature of BattleTech universe. But yeah, very interesting observation.
Yeah. All right. Last question for today. Ooh, this time you're on the firing line, Mr. Nathan. What are BungleTech's thoughts on the new playtest packages? What new bungles are anticipated, and how many of these new rules have we accidentally been doing this way for years?
It's a big question. And
It is a big one. So let's start with the first one. What do we think about the new playtest package? Nathan, tell us what we think.
to be fully transparent, I was one of the people behind the scenes doing some of the playtesting on the playtest package before it was released. Not the packages, but like the rules and all that stuff. So I was an individual who had a very, very small role in helping shape that a little bit. And my thoughts regarding all the additions, and from talking to Keith about it directly, is that the focus of these changes is to enhance the playability of BattleTech. It's really that simple. And like when I look at all the rules, even the rules, because I was brought in later on that I wasn't never privy to, I look at them and I understand why this is good for this as a game on the table. The only things that I don't like are, because I'm so narrative leaning, is that there are certain decisions that can have sometimes been made that take it away from that narrative feeling to make it more, to enhance playability. So the question then becomes, what is more important, the playability of the game or some of these narratively more realistic things? And I think, that's just a value judgment. And when I look at all the changes, there's not a single one that I say, oh, this isn't something that should be put on the table. Like, they're all rational. They're all something I'll happily play and I'll completely migrate over. And lots of them are enhancements. For example, the water changes are just like, oh my God, thank God that the water changes are there. There's lots of little fun stuff like that. So that's what I think. I think that this is a significant net improvement of BattleTech that was due, that doesn't change the feeling of the game fundamentally, but enhances playability. And all we lose is we lose a little bit of specificity that most players don't even care about. So that's my thoughts.
And which you could put back in if you really wanted,
Yeah.
If it's your table, you can add some TAC Ops rules and some legacy rules, and yeah. Okay. Up next, what new bungles are anticipated?
The new bungles that are anticipated that come to mind straight away are just regarding the water one, actually, too. I think that people are so afraid of water, and it's been training us for so long, that navigating water, because it's now easier, I believe, if I recall correctly, if you walk through water in the new rules, you do not need a PSR. And that makes a lot of sense to me. But anyhow,
I think we might have even played some games like this back when we were like relearning.
You're right. Maybe we did. Yeah.
I vaguely remember seeing like entering a water hex and interpreting that as like the first time.
Yes, we did the first time. Yeah. We didn't realize it was every hex. Yeah. It was the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So they simplify things, and maybe it's exiting of PSR. I don't remember it exactly, but the water changes are going to confuse people on the table because we're so used to now like PSR every hex. And that actually fundamentally changes how maps are going to be able to be navigated. Also fundamentally changes how good mechs with jump jets are, because one of the big amazing things of them is you didn't have to deal with water. You could just completely ignore it. And that was boring, to be honest. It was boring that water was this much of a death trap. And now that it's no longer this much of a death trap, it is like, I don't know, I'm really excited for it. But I think that's what I anticipate.
I will miss watching, carefully orchestrating a VIP mech that we were defending but not under control of, walking into depth 3 water, failing its PSR because it was piloted by an idiot noble, and then proceeding to spend the rest of the match rolling around underwater, safe from weapons fire.
Yeah.
That was very fun to do, but probably not good for the playability of the game, I will say.
Yeah. That was a fun strategy.
All right.
And not without risk. Yeah.
Last one. How many of these new rules have we accidentally been doing this way for years? We already talked about one that you and I did years ago, but then we stopped doing it that way.
So one change is that there's no longer side hit location tables. There's only going to be a front hit location table, maybe a rear. Don't quote me on this, but there's changes to that. And I think
the rear is just the front again, I think.
They've made some changes. They've removed 2 tables.
Have we been accidentally doing that?
We haven't, but I know many players forget about that. Many players, like first players, have been doing rear as anything behind the 3 hexes, anything in front, the front 3 hexes. So I know that players have been mistaking the side tables quite a lot. It just happens on the table with like line of sight, especially when people torso twist and stuff like that too. And they do it by physically rotating their mech instead of just like abstractly talking about it. That stuff is a type of mistake.
Sorry to know but you can still get hit in the side. It's just calculated differently from the same table.
Yes. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that people have been ignoring the old tables.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Get off your case.
So, well, maybe it
if
doesn't have a big impact because maybe they'll just ignore it again.
White it out right now. Just,
But I think it's one less thing to remember, right? And now you
maybe
can
I have
no
a chance
longer
to memorize the hit location table.
So
finally,
let's say I'm hitting someone on the left side of the mech. Now a big change is you could only hit them from the left side. You can't hit the right side anymore. And the old one, you could hit the right side, but it'd be lower probability. And that's actually when I talk about narratively, like this actually sort of has a different narrative visualization. It makes this much more like the video games. But when the mechs are moving, there's lots more movement. So there would be the potential, if we want to look at this narratively, for them to be hit on the right side when they're being attacked on the left. That's an example of one of the changes that, to me, like narratively, I feel like weakens it a little bit, but from playability, it enhances it so much that it's worth the trade, in my opinion. But that's the one that comes top of mind. I also really like the new aerospace stuff. I think I had a chance to play that and versions of that before it was released in the playtest package, and I think it is agile and fun. And after having played with real aerospace rules, it's cool to bring aerospace on the table, 100%. But man, do I not want to use those rules. That's like really deep level, and I understand why people do want to use that rule. They're super cool, but that really it's a different experience. So being able to bring aerospace to the table in a casual fashion like this, I think is really, really cool. So anyhow,
I'm getting the sense that we need to do a rules update episode at some point.
Oh, Michael, don't you worry. Already in the hopper.
5x5.
5x5. The only thing I'm good at is planning and generating ideas. And that's what I do. And everything else falls apart from there. Sweet. Well, those
are some questions.
A blast. Thanks you everybody for the questions.
Viewers, listeners. Thanks, venerable listeners.
They could be viewing. They could be reading the subtitles, Michael. They're auto-generated by Spotify. It's so convenient. Thank you, Spotify.
I wonder how it does with our podcast.
Oh, really, really accurate. Very accurate. Only it just doesn't pick up words that are like it might mess up
Kodama
or Kodama. No, Kodama, like it's much better than you think it would be. Like it's surprisingly good. Anyhow, technology, man, it's amazing. Cool. Well, that is our episode. Woo! Keeping it relaxed. If you're coming to Case X6, we're excited to see you there. Next month's episode is going to be discussing about our experience at Case X6. It's going to be another little mellow one because next month we as well have, that's the actual last mission of the global campaign is going to be released. When you hear this, we are out on 9 missions of the global campaign. And remember, if you haven't played it yet, you can still get into it. All the missions are there.
All the missions are there. You can file your feedback. It might get reviewed, next year.
Yeah. If you're behind on the, like, if you put the new feedback in for the up-to-date stuff, it'll get reviewed straight away. But that old stuff, we're going to still look at it. Like I said, man, if people really have a great hunger for this and we get the follow through that we started with, that continues all the way to the end eventually, I think this is something where we can perhaps, we can go to the BattleTech gods and pray that we have the energy and zeal to pursue it further.
Don't listen to Nathan. He's not your energy isn't going to the BattleTech gods. Your energy directly nourishes Nathan. He needs you to have your joy and your pain, your suffering, playing some of the slightly jankily balanced missions. That's what keeps Nathan going. So play those missions, laugh, smile, cry, gnash your teeth. All of that feeds Nathan and gives him the strength to put together another monstrosity of a project.
I'm holding my arms in the air with the spirit bomb pose right now. I'm just grabbing
he's
all
gonna
that
be doing
energy.
That all through KSAG. So please hurry.
Yes.
His arms are getting tired.
Oh, no, they're not, Michael. No. No. I feel the jank. All right, everyone. You won't hear from us till after the holidays, or after Christmas at least. Not to get political. Oh my God, I'm getting political. Oh my God, everything's so political. But happy holidays in advance. And that brings us to an end of another deployment of BungleTech. If you enjoyed today's episode and it is within your power, throw a review our way to help us continue to spread the glory of BattleTech. As always, you can find us via Discord, email, Twitter, X, and Patreon, all linked in the show description. Until next time, MechWarriors, good fortunes on the battlefield. Selah.
All podcast objectives complete. Podcast shutdown sequence initiated.